this is a bit of a story time slash recap type video. So yeah, there will be a lot of exposition given so that you can understand like things and yeah. Okay. So was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? Last week. We're gonna go with that because I currently don't have a calendar near me, so I can't see whether it was last week or a week ago. On the 2nd and 3rd of August, I went to an AP workshop at Richwoods. By the way, Richwoods is one of the other high schools in my school district. I go to Manual, so like, you know, fish out of water. Especially because there were only like a handful of other people from Manual there. Like off the top of my head, I think that on the first day there might have been 10, on the second day like 6 or 7. Like, and that's and even less when you realize that we were broken up into different groups. I got lucky in terms of my group happened to have the most Manual kids in it, which granted that was only like 5, because it was me, my friend Marsha, my friend Derek, my kind of friend, kind of acquaintance, Aitiana, and this girl named Monica. Like, and these groups were about the size of the average classroom class, so about like 20 something people. So we were outnumbered about, you know, 15 to 5. Like probably more than 15 to 5. So yeah, fish out of water. But no. And like I expected it to be, and when I was told that it was like a workshop to help you do good in AP classes and stuff, because I'm taking an AP classes here. So I was straight up just like, oh yeah, I should do that so that I don't like, you know, fucking fail my AP class. Like, it was nothing like I expected. A lot of what we did was team building exercises, and then we did a philosophical chairs. Like, okay. And for the team building exercises, because that's what my main focus is going to be on, I'll talk about like what we did the philosophical chairs over and stuff like towards the end, but my main focus is the team building exercises. Actually, you know, I'm going to break it down like, you know, here's what happened on day 1, here's what happened on day 2. Okay, day 1. You know, got there. I got there before 8 because it started at 8. Me and my friend Marsha, because Marsha, bless her heart, gave me a ride. We got there before 8, so we didn't realize they were going to do this until we walked inside. They gave us breakfast, and we got to, you know, just sit in the cafeteria and, you know, eat breakfast and chill until 8 o'clock. Which the breakfast was your standard high school breakfast options, like, you know, cereal bar and a juicy juice. I don't know why I said it like that. It was like juice. Whatever. And then, you know, at 8 o'clock, they had us all go to the gym. And, you know, I was like gripping onto Marsha because if you don't know this about me, I'm terrible in social situations where I like do not know a lot of people. I am terrible in those situations. So like if I do know somebody, I pretty much need to cling on to them as long as possible or I will die. Okay. And like we got to the gym and we were just sitting there and you know the principal who, fun fact, the current principal of Richwoods was the assistant principal at the middle school I went to when I was in 5th grade. Little fun fact there. He's like, now I think about it, he's like worked at all of at all 3 of the main District 150 high schools except for mine. Cause he used to be at Central, now he's at Richwoods. You don't care about that. Okay, come on. Topic. Okay. I'm sorry, you had to see that. Okay, and you know, he was doing a big old spiel to the Richwoods kids, because, you know, like I said, there were a shit ton of Richwoods kids, and only a handful of Manual kids, and 0 Central kids. So, yeah. If I were to give an estimate, I'd say there were somewhere between 80 to 100 Richwoods kids there, ranging from all 4 years. Like, there were some freshmen, there were some sophomores, there were some juniors, there were some seniors. And there were about like 80 to 100 Richwoods kids. Meanwhile, from Manual, like I said, about 10, and only juniors and seniors. Yeah. He was doing this big old spiel, you know, being like, to them, just like, oh, are you ready to have a good year, and yada yada yada, talking about, you know, school related things that were of no business to me, because I don't go to school there. And then he finally, you know, was like, and let's welcome our friends from Manual, yada yada. And then, you know, everyone else from Manual was all excited, just like, yeah! And I was just sitting there, just like, because, no. Like, please do not draw attention to me. Like, as long as, like, please do not draw attention to me unless it's my damn birthday. And sometimes not even then. Okay. And, like, you know, when we got in and, like, signed in, they gave us, like, colorful bracelets, and we didn't know what those were for. Because, you know, I'm stupid. Until, like, you know, we were in the gym, and then, you know, they were saying, like, you know, okay, now we're gonna break you off into your teams, and then you can go do the thing. They didn't say go do the thing, I just don't remember the exact words. I got so lucky in that I was a write-in on the sign-up sheet, meaning I was not originally, like, you know, on the sign-up sheet, so I had to write my name in, so they just gave me the same color bracelet as Marsha. So I was so lucky that I got to be in the same group as Marsha, because, oh my gosh. Okay, and then, you know, we got broken up into our groups. Me and Marsha just awkwardly followed, the other people with orange bracelets to a classroom. And, you know, we were sitting there awkwardly, and we did 2 truths and a lie. Which, you know, I couldn't think of anything interesting, so, like, mine was just things like, I do cosplay, I'm from Texas, and I have 3 cats. Which, I'm surprised nobody thought cosplay was a lie. Like, you know, I had people guess that Texas was a lie, and then, you know, people got it right with the 3 cats thing. I don't have 3 cats, I have 3 dogs. So yeah, I'm honestly really surprised that nobody thought cosplay was a lie. But, oh well. I guess I just seem like a cosplayer because I'm that much of a fucking nerd. Okay. I'm saying okay a lot because I'm, like, trying to remember these things as I tell the story. And then, you know, after 2 truths and a lie, we end up leaving the classroom and going outside for a team building exercise. There was, like, a strip thing tied between two trees, right? And like, yeah, we had to get everybody across without the person going across touching the floor. My friend Derek and this really cute guy named Drew had the idea to just like slide everybody across. Like, you know, Derek held their arms, Drew held their legs, and just like slid them across the thing. Because technically, the person going across wasn't touching the ground. That shit fucking hurt. Like, my stomach ended up hurting for a fucking week after that shit. Like, oh my gosh. Because one, I was wearing yoga pants, so it's not like if they thought to, you know, make sure that the pants were what was on the strip, wouldn't have made that much of a difference. And two, it was pretty much my bare stomach on that thing. And I'm just straight up just like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. Of course, I was screaming, ow, like, a lot. And just, oh my gosh. And then, you know, we went back upstairs, did like this logic puzzle type thing, where it's like, you know, give you a set of clues, you gotta figure out, you know, which house has what, and yada yada. Which, that was fun. I almost had a mental breakdown trying to figure that shit out, but it was fun. And then, you know, they gave us articles to, like, you know, highlight stuff, because we were gonna do philosophical chairs next day. Cut to the next day. We, you know, go to our classrooms and everything. And then we end up going downstairs to the gym, because our first team building exercise of that day was we were all like in a circle holding hands, and we had to like get hula hoops like all the way around the circle without like breaking it. So, you know, like, I think that was the most like graceful thing I've ever done, to be honest. Just like step through, dip, boom, 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 like fucking dancing and shit to get it through. Like, oh my gosh. And like, I felt like really weird, and it made me feel like kind of anxious, because every time that I like kind of fucked up and like stalled the thing a little bit, these fucking Richwood kids were giving me dirty looks and shit, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, don't, like, do not be mad at me, please. I'm sorry, I'm not graceful at all, like, stop. And it made me like really uncomfortable. And then we got back upstairs. They broke us into little groups of 4. Again, I say, they broke us into groups, meaning I was not with Marcia this time. However, I was in a group with 2 freshmen and Drew, the cute guy from the day before. Drew being the only one that knew his way around Richwoods, because he's either the grade below me or the same grade as me. I forgot which one. He had classes with my little sister last year when she was at Richwoods, so I'm gonna guess that he's a sophomore, because that's how old Haley is. And like, him being the only one that knew his way around Richwoods, since the other 2 Richwoods kids were freshmen, you know, I had to rely on him to make sure I did not get lost in this high school that I do not go to. Right? This fucking boy ran everywhere. He ran upstairs, downstairs, down long ass hallways, fucking around corners and shit. Like, oh my god. And if you don't know this, I can run pretty fast. I just cannot run for long periods of time, or I will have a fucking asthma attack. So I was pretty much dying every time we stopped, and we had to take selfies. Because, by the way, I'm gonna like, I think I forgot to mention this part. This was like a Pokemon themed scavenger hunt, meaning the things we had to find were pictures of Pokemon, like all over the school. And we had to take selfies with the goddamn Pokemon and email them to one of the teachers. By the way, this dude Drew, he took the best fucking selfies. Like, he did a lot of this and shit, and like with Weedle. Yeah, Weedle was one of them. He just straight up like put his face like all up close to the picture of Weedle, just like as if he was just caressing the Weedle, and I'm just like, yeah. And like by the time we finally got back to the classroom, I was dead. Like, Marsha and her group had already finished, so like I walked in the room and like collapsed into a desk, and she was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And I just look at her and I'm just like, Drew ran everywhere. And like, you know, we were just sitting there waiting for the rest of the groups to get back and everything. And then we did our philosophical chairs. Our philosophical chairs was on Pokemon Go. Specifically, whether it's dangerous or whether it's really awesome. I do not have Pokemon Go. Not by choice. Frankly, honestly, if I could have Pokemon Go, I totally would. But my phone is too old for that shit. I almost dropped it. My phone's too old for Pokemon Go, so I don't have Pokemon Go. However, I honestly would have Pokemon Go if I could. So I was mentally just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on the side arguing for it. Not initially, because you didn't get to choose what side you were on in the beginning, because, you know, they were trying to teach you, you have to be able to argue for a point whether or not you agree with it or not. So initially, I was on, sorry, this is like irritating me. If you don't know, I film on my laptop, so I can like see myself while I film. And just, this shit right here is irritating me. Okay. Initially, I was on the side arguing against Pokemon Go. But, like, you know, I made sure before we started that if our opinion changed, if we'd be able to, like, switch sides. And as soon as they said, yeah, I figured out my little plan. My plan was, I'm not gonna say shit, like, while I'm still on this side, and then wait for somebody to make, like, a really good point on the other side, or at least a really good sounding point on the other side, and just, like, act as if, like, boom, my mind has changed, I'm going to that side. And I did. And, like, that kind of backfired a little bit, because it kind of spiraled into someone on my side yelling, well, your side's the only side that lost a person, and then everyone just looks at me, and I'm just sitting there just like, although I am proud of myself because I did make some damn good points for my side, so high five. So yeah, all in all, despite it not being what I thought it was going to be, and me personally thinking that the philosophical chairs was the only possible thing that could have helped me with my AP US history class, it was a fun experience. I'm really happy I did it. And if they do it again next year, since I do plan on taking AP classes next year too, I'll definitely do it. Like, it was really fun. Like, bravo to Richwoods for putting on a good event. And also bravo for Richwoods for having the best fucking building in the district. I swear, that building was so damn nice. I want to go to Richwoods now just because of the building. Except, no, I don't, because that building's confusing as fuck to navigate. Like, the way they do their classrooms is really confusing. Like, oh my god. They have 600s, and that school only has 2 floors. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. So yeah, all in all, it was a good experience. If they do it again next year, I'll totally do it. And yeah, that was just my little recap / story time about the AP workshop I went to. And yeah. I'll see you next time I do a video. I'm starting school in 2 days, so don't necessarily know when that'll be. I don't know if I'll do any videos on Thursday or Friday. Like, I'll definitely like do videos on school days. I just don't know if it'll be like Thursday and Friday, cause you know, first week of school. I don't know. So I'll just see you when I see you. And yeah.